Welcome to Thursday Night Live, everybody. This week, my guest is the Rideshare professor. If you are not familiar with Torsten, for some reason, you will be here very shortly. I'm stoked to have him. This is, again, another person that's been on the podcast several times. And we always seem to have, we get into more things than we even think. But today, we have a lot on the list. To get through this would be amazing.
We have a lot, ladies and gentlemen. So buckle up. It's going to be a long ride, LA to Vegas. Yeah, exactly.
But Torsten, welcome, and thank you for joining me.
Awesome. Thank you. I love being on your show. I love what you're doing. Man, you've made a huge name for yourself out there. You have great guests, and I always have fun coming on your show. So anytime you want to do another topic, sign me up.
Well, I think we're going to hit on a lot here tonight. So
cool.
Everybody in the chat, I see Sean, I see Traveler, Bubba Sue, and I see Toyo, and I know there's others watching. I can see the numbers. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And we're going to go, like I said, we're going to go through a lot. You know me, normally I list off what we're going to go through that night, and then I play the intro song. That's why I just played it first tonight, because there was just too much to list.
Yeah, exactly.
Torsten sent me a few things, and he's like, add these. And when I finally put the rundown together and sent it to him, it's long.
Yeah, it's like the world's longest podcast. We should set a world record sometime.
But so I'll talk us through. We're gonna talk rideshare. We're gonna talk some DoorDash. We're gonna talk Waymo, of course, and just autonomous, and a couple other things. But we'll start off with a little rideshare here. I picked this one up from one of Torsten's videos recently about Lyft. Now, Uber's been doing Uber Teen for a long time.
Yes.
But Lyft just started. I always make a joke about Lyft. Like, what is Lyft anymore? Because Lyft didn't even do food delivery during the pandemic. They when all the everybody couldn't drive. And overnight almost, and everybody else went to food, and they didn't even think, hey, I should go to food.
Exactly.
I mean, don't get this company. And I'm not saying that why did it take them so long to get to unaccompanied minors? Because I'm pissed about that. Torsten and I share this view, and this is not cool. We always try and tell you guys, this is one of those things. It's not just because it's in the app doesn't make it legal. And you guys need to know that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a topic you and I we're on the same page here, and it's just way too dangerous. And like you said, I mean, Lyft, it's copycat or delayed catching up. I thought back then Risha did a good thing by not copying or not following the Uber playbook on teens, because here are some powerful statements, and listen carefully. Teens are not parents. Teens are not adults, right? They cannot make adult-like decisions yet. You should know that if you have teens. I have 5 of them. Love them. But, putting your 15-year-old daughter in a car, I don't think is a smart thing. And if you want to end your gig career, just get one crazy false statement by a 15, 16-year-old girl or guy against you, and you're going to be defending yourself.
A free $5 ride.
Yeah, I mean, one wild accusation.
Even close to done anything, but they just want a free ride, so they're going to end
100%. And then they're on a very, very tight budget. A lot of them are not earning money. They scour the internet. They know how to get freebies. They know how to get free rides, and it just takes one false allegation against you. You have you're branded, and then you have to dig yourself out of it. You're off the platform. You're off the platform, and then you're defending something you never did. I wouldn't do it. I would pass on every opportunity if I saw a youngster trying to get in my car. There are companies out there. Hop, Skip, and Drive, I think, does a phenomenal job. They pay more.
But Hop, Skip, Drive does a background. They fingerprint you. They look in. They don't
everything.
Use checker. They do a real background check.
They spend money on you, and only one or very few drivers qualifies for that position, and they're good at what they're doing. There's a vigorous vetting process in place, not like Uber or Lyft or anything else. And I honestly have you heard like major complaints over hop, skip, and drive, or have they been in the media for the wrong reasons? No, they're doing a pretty damn good job. So shout out if you want to drive teenagers and you enjoy driving teenagers, there's hop, skip, and drive. But again, parents, please drive your children and don't put them in our cars because we're not your personal babysitter.
However, I can say this, and I know that we'll get into this a little down, but like like Tony, the driven dad, Tony, and you
Yes,
even like you guys do private clients. That's different if you're taking a kid of a private client,
100%.
in my opinion. In my opinion,
absolutely. And to get a parent or your client, it starts off as an adult client, to trust you with a child will take a lot of recommendations, right? A lot of
right. It's not just going to be
families.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just going to
Last
be a
week I had,
private. You got a private client. You drove them around 3 times, and they're like, "Hey, I have a kid." I'm talking about, like, I know what Tony does is these are people he lives next door to and stuff. They're his neighbors.
exactly. I mean,
So
last
it's a
week I had
much different
three.
story.
Yeah, last week I had 3 groups of teenagers. Uh, um 5 girls went to a dance. They're on their cell phones all the time, but they were well behaved teenagers. I don't really want to call them kids because they were not kids anymore. But that particular client, I got again from 1 or 2 other referrals. I was driving their children, and if, by the way, if you're getting into private trips, build yourself a name around driving teenagers. It's a lot of business, very easy to deal with if you know how. I treat them like as if I had my children in my car. I communicate with the parents. I tell them step by step. And you can't really do that as an Uber or a Lyft driver. You're not communicating with those parents. Okay, your daughter wants to stop at In-N-Out. And no, every step of the way I'm communicating so that these people know exactly where their children are on the map at any given time. And that sort of connection, or that private connection, gets lost with Uber and Lyft, right? They're just stuffing a young kid in your car, hoping that all goes well, and unfortunately, it doesn't always go well.
Yeah. No, I mean, it doesn't. In fact, I saw, I talked about this before. I know we both know why Uber Teens started, and I saw it in the news, but then I literally saw it in the news again today. I don't think it was the same push of the story, but again, I saw the story of, it was statistic wise too. I think it was CNBC. I was watching Near Closing Bell or something, and it was talking about 16-year-olds not getting their license.
Exactly.
I mean, when I turned 16, I've said this before, but when I turned 16, I was at the DMV waiting for the door to open.
Exactly. Waiting for the doors to open. I want ready. I mean, that is just like
that meant the world to me.
The world. I mean, that should as a parent, you want to motivate your child because you're working towards something big in life, right? There's a huge accomplishment. You're getting your freedom. You're getting your independence. If a parent just left and right ordering Ubers and Lyfts for their kids, you're doing it the wrong way. Sorry, parents. I mean, you're not allowing your child to develop and sort of take on their own world. Having a car means freedom, independence, training them up, paying maybe for a good schooling, a good driver school, extra tuition. Put a few more hours in there, invest them into your child, make sure they can really drive, because there are crazy drivers out there. But man, teenagers, I hope you're listening to this podcast, or I hope you see it on TikTok, right? This is something you should all strive for. Having your own car, your own insurance, your own independence. Quit having your parents pay for Ubers and Lyfts. Come on, man, grow up. Seriously.
I mean, I know this is to some people, it's gonna make me sound old or something, but learn how to take the bus, man. Like, come on, man.
Shit, way back, yeah. The bus, get on the bus, Gus.
But the bus still exists, though. I mean, learn the bus, man.
Do.
I think it just teaches you something.
It does.
Teaches you a little bit about community and waiting. And sometimes you can't. Everything's not as quick as your phone. You're gonna have to wait for the bus.
Yeah, the old school.
Like,
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, that's you and I. We loved the bus. The bus took me to many places back in the day. I loved it. But
Yeah.
and then I think in certain cities might be a little bit dangerous. I mean, there are certain areas where bus might not be the perfect place to have your
Yeah, no,
kid board a
I
bus.
get that. I get that. But an Uber for a teenager is not a safe place at all. I
No, it's
mean,
not. And on the other side, drivers, if you look statistically at carjackings, I mean, who are the ones that are committing these carjackings? It's usually teenagers or minors using parents' account. Parents have no idea what these kids are doing in a certain neighborhood, right? And
no.
they're just waiting for the right car to come along. The other day, these guys attacked the driver with a rock. They beat the driver up with a rock. Sometimes it's a
Yeah.
knife, sometimes it's a gun. I mean, if you really want to up the statistics and get carjacked, keep on driving teenagers. That's all I can say.
And, like I said, we've done podcasts over the years, you and I don't think we've ever seen as many delivery assaults as rideshare too. Delivery's right
Jeez.
up there now too. I mean, that's
Yeah.
amazing to me. Delivery people are getting carjacked. I mean,
Shot.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, there was a story last year we did on the Roundtable about a person who delivered in Florida and was pulled into the house and dismembered into like 24
Oh,
pieces.
this terrible by a gang member. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
I'm
horrific.
sure you remember it because you reported
Yeah, it
all this
was,
stuff.
and
So
and
yeah,
and, and the guy got caught. He carried the body out in black plastic bags. Yeah, it
I
was
mean, this is just a
horrific.
delivery driver.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, all
And
they would do
also
again.
like with also at deliveries, maybe going into uh, the wrong yard, right? You're going into the wrong
Oh
house,
yeah,
and some person will see you like, who is this guy in my yard? And things go south. I mean, so it's dangerous. It's a
and
really
again,
dangerous
depending on
game.
where you live, I live on the Aurora Denver border. So if I'm working in Aurora, again, I'm from Michigan. So when people are always like, "Dude, be careful in that neighborhood," I'm always like, "Dude, this is Denver, dude." Like even the worst of it ain't
Yeah,
Detroit. So,
exactly.
but my point is like I know that there's a lot of areas with lights out and stuff, and I'm not being accusatory. I just know this to be fact. I don't know which ones, but there are houses that are drug dealing houses or running prostitutes out of them. These happen down near Colfax where I am.
Yeah,
And you don't want to be approaching that house if they didn't order the food.
exactly. So
I mean, and
maybe.
again, the app screws up too sometimes. So it's not just you not seeing an address or the address is missing. Sometimes they're like, that's the house, and it's not the right house.
And as the viewers are watching this, just a reminder, you literally have to be alert and on the game, on the ball all the time, whether it's rideshare or food delivery, right? You get tired, take some rest, because when we get tired and we're working these crazy hours, we're doing stupid things, maybe not paying attention to the exact address. You got to double check everything. It's the same with rides. You drive up somewhere, if you don't feel quite right, windows got to be up. You got to be locked inside. You can't just be like, the sitting duck where anybody can come from the left or the right. And the same with food deliveries. When I arrive at the house, make 100% sure, in LA, and I'm sure on many other streets, you see the numbers right in front of the house. Okay, this is 2526. Yep, I'm at the right address. This has got to be the one. My navigation shows me I'm exactly in front of it. When you tend to get tired and you tend to you tend to make stupid mistakes, and you might just wander off into a neighboring yard, and then things could happen. You're wandering into that house that you just spoke about, right? That
Yeah. Yeah.
and they're not
Or even,
expecting you.
I'll even say around here, what would probably be most common is a drop house.
Okay.
So maybe not even drug dealing, just people in a house that nobody's renting
Yep.
that looks normal. It's sitting, there's a lot of, in Aurora side, there's a lot of not lit streets for many blocks. So
Okay.
especially at night, you're driving down these streets and all their porch lights are off. There's no street lights. I mean,
Yeah.
it just,
Tough.
and
Things can
then
go wrong.
I get alerts on if I am doing food delivery, which it's not a big part of my money, but when I do, when I'm working those, I get after the fact alerts on. It's kind of a weird thing. I'm trying to think if it's just DoorDash, but it'll come up and say, "How safe did you feel doing this delivery?" And I know that they were saying he doesn't care. He does whatever. He'll go wherever. So let's just kind of question him. And like, it's almost like, would a woman feel safe being here doing this?
Right.
Like,
And
no.
I mean, they AI, and anybody that's sort of willing to deliver anywhere, the company knows that they'll send them into the most dangerous places, right? I mean, they track, they have every little bit of information on you, that they know what you take, what you don't take. They know at what price points you deliver, et cetera, et cetera. So, they can steer you in any direction with that, with that AI tracking you and following you, right? Don't you think so? I mean,
oh yeah. Like,
100%.
and I don't even, the AI thing, and I have looked into this in so many directions. It's like, it might not be as far as it is. The cost of data going through the roof. There are so many weird things that get me confused on what's real in AI, because
Exactly.
like last year was the world's going to be taken over. None of you are going to have jobs. It is going to affect a lot of jobs, but it's not quite the sky is falling. In fact, I think that what we were shown last year is the extent of AI right now. I think they showed us the best of the best, but they produced it like, oh, this is just what's beginning. And really, like, it was the best they can do right now.
Yeah, but,
I mean, I've already found issues in ChatGPT. Like, ChatGPT is just your buddy. If you tell it, hey, I think this, and I need, and now it's great. Don't get me wrong, but I'm trying to build a case that legislation is needed for this in this state because of this. Now it's going to go be your assistant and find all of that stuff. It's not being impartial and saying, well, there's another side to this. It doesn't do that.
Yeah. But, again, on chat, let's say ChatGPT, are you on the regular version or the paid version?
The free one.
The free one. In all honesty, I know, the paid one, yes, it does cost money, but I've noticed such massive differences, right? Just in the quality of what it's getting back to you. Like, it's day and night between regular and the paid.
Because you're also logged in, it gets to know you.
Yeah.
So like,
exactly.
Like sometimes ChatGPT produces something and you're like, no. You went down the wrong hole. I need this, and this. And then they come back with it is great. I mean, it's a powerful tool.
Yeah.
Uber. Okay. So moving forward in this Uber driver thing, the sexual assault cases, I couldn't find it today, but I had a graph that showed what Uber was expecting this year to be, and it was for investors. It was what they, like, it showed, like, if it dipped, it meant, or if it went up into the red, it meant that it was a concern or going to be a cost. If it went down into the green, is how they showed it, it meant that they were hoping that was going to be what that was going to do. All of them were pretty near the line, except for one in the middle that went up to about 600%. And that was based on what happens. That was before any of these trials. The first one's already done. It's already been solved for sexual assault, and it was legal fees. And it was like I'm sure they weren't being honest. I'm sure it was way worse, but it looked horrible because it was the only one stacking above the line. And now we have 3,000 cases filed. And as well as I do that a lot of sexual assault victims don't want to come forward, especially in the setting that we've had, the landscape that we've had, where they know, well, you got to do the arbitration and this BS and this, and nothing's going to happen for you. It hasn't for anybody for years. We knew this year was coming, and we have 3,000 on the books. One has been decided. They had 5 weeks put away for that court to deal with that case. It took the judge, 3 days?
Yeah. Unanimous. It was an 8.5 million award for one individual out of Arizona. That's one. And 3,000, like you said, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I have a website where I work with multiple class action law firms and attorneys called giglawyers.com. And, a lot of drivers will register there. Hey, give me guidance. Who could I speak to as far as this case? And unfortunately, what we are seeing out there right now, let's talk about the figure of 3,000, are, let's say, predominantly women and men And these are cases where a driver assaulted them, and every 8 minutes apparently. If we if we look at the stats in reverse, drunk passengers getting into the car assaulting drivers, um, I would say that's 10 times higher, 10 times higher, because there's a lot of drunk individuals that get into cars and think because they're paying, they own that person. So these are the type of female drivers and guys that I'm talking to. And they say, hey, why are there no class action law firms representing us? And this is why I make this video every few weeks, right? And I've actually contacted some of the class action law firms. I've made a lot of money back in the day with the whole wage issue. And I said, why are you not representing the drivers? You know, you have 3,000, you'd have 30,000 people sign up. No, it's a tricky one. It's not that easy. They're very difficult to fight. Why? Like, why are lawyers not taking on these cases? Why is it always in the media a one-sided bad driver, bad driver, bad driver? You know how many drivers are out there on a weekend, on a party night? I've been harassed countless of times over the years, not anymore by private clients, but back, when I was driving Uber and Lyft. It happens to a lot of drivers. I would hope to see some representation, for drivers that are facing sexual assaults by riders. I mean,
By the
don't
way,
you agree?
I know some of you in here do rideshare in the chat already. Tonight, leave a make it kind of brief, but leave a horror story from rideshare. We'll put it
Yeah.
up on the screen and we'll talk about it, because maybe some other people need to see these, because some of you I see in there, Sean and Derek, you guys are veterans. You guys know.
Oh, they'll know. They'll know. They've faced this, right? And whether you're
and
a
they're both in
female,
Colorado. I know. So
yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're a female or if you're a female or a male driver, you're going to have faced some form of, if you call abuse, assault over the years as a veteran, right? If you've done 5,000 plus trips, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They are those people that believe they own you the moment they get into the vehicle and they can touch and do what they want. We need representation on that side as well. It cannot just be, and I'm all for weeding out the bad drivers, and I'm all for those 3,000 people receiving their settlements, 100%. And like you correctly said, Uber has a chest, and Lyft they have a treasure chest set aside. It always gets factored into the quarterly's legal fees. I mean, it's a lot of money that they spend on their army of attorneys and paralegals every quarter, and right now it seems like where they're spending the most money, or will be spending the most money, are on these assault cases.
Well, and you spoke with Bryant, and so did I. Bryant Greening from Legal Rideshare,
Yes.
Great guy. And I want to say that, I asked him about the California thing where you are, and we were trying to showcase, because some people were asking me prior to that, why is it such a problem if they're limiting how much lawyers can take, that 25% thing that you guys are pushing in your state?
Right.
And I was telling them so it was great to do it with Bryant, because no lawyer is going to represent you.
They're not going to take your case. And I mean, you saw those ads in Super Bowl that Uber was hiding behind. And you also saw the counter ads by the other side. Yeah, absolutely. Which attorney is going to take your case when they're throttled, right? When there's no money to be made. So, I mean, and then this is where they're pumping the money in. They know this is a real issue. They're spending, they're buying they're buying Super Bowl ads. That should tell you something.
And they're not even good.
Yeah. They were trash.
That's my biggest problem with them, you guys. Like, the Super Bowl commercials they're not only super expensive for these companies, they've been a big deal my whole life. Like, what were the commercials on the Super Bowl? The last decade have all sucked, man. Like, nobody's creative anymore.
There's no creativity. They're paying top dollars. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, the numbers for 30 to 60 second, anywhere from $2 to $8 million for the ad. And then you can't tell me you can put something creative together in 30 seconds that people will keep in their minds or walk away from, and they'll remember it. No, I can't even. I found this Super Bowl to be rather boring. The game, the game itself.
The whole
But
thing.
I didn't walk away remembering many ads. I really didn't. 10 years ago, I think there was way more creativity back in the day.
There was, honestly, I felt like there was nothing at all to take away from this Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was a bit of a meh.
No matter which
Exactly.
merchandise. But I did want to put this up on the screen too. I don't know if you had even seen this, Torsten. I was talking about the sexual assault things and the lady winning the case a couple weeks ago, but I forgot to put this up. Did you see this?
Wow.
Like, I didn't even know. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but I hadn't even thought of it that way. That's crazy.
It's nuts. It is.
Every day in 2024, there was a sexual assault.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other stats say every 8 minutes. That's
right.
horrifying.
But I guess that just hit me somehow a different way. Like every day.
Well, every day that, and if we look at 2026, I mean, literally in the first week, which I thought was horrific, there was a killing every single day. There was January the 1st, January the 2nd, it just didn't end. I would maybe make a video once a week on a driver losing their life. I mean, in the first week of January 2026, I literally had 7 videos already from 7 different days. So this is a dangerous playground we're in. And it's getting worse. It's just getting worse every year. It really is. It's
So I wanted to talk. So we've got some of these things. We talked about Lyft. We kind of did. Like, what's the point? I did want to get your take on the Lyft stock because I knew you had something to say on that. Because I'm wondering how much more lifeblood Lyft has.
I don't know. The focus obviously is primarily on Uber, Wall Street, the financial world. Lyft is like, okay, let's see what Lyft is doing. They pretty much everything that Uber does, Lyft copies. They were waiting to see what the reaction would be to autonomous vehicles. I think, again, David Risher was fast asleep and should have been more aggressive, opening up foreign markets. That only happened late in the game. Teen, which I'm against, happened late in the game. Adopting to AVs happened late in the game. And then when investors constantly see this guy is late in the game, they just start losing confidence. And it took quite a nosedive the other day, I think from like $17 to $14. And truly, I mean, what does Lyft have to show in the autonomous vehicle world? They don't have too many relationships in place, maybe a handful of cities, but nothing that'll give the investor confidence to start really pushing the stock upwards. So, I mean, Risher replacing Logan Green and John Zimmer, I thought those two were duds. It was bound to happen. Do I think they got the right fit, the right guy? Maybe leave the guy in there a year and really get customer service sorted out, because he's all so focused on customer service. But I think we need a CEO who understands the bigger picture and is able to talk to every party, not just the rider. Risha's the rider. We need a CEO in there, kick-ass CEO that understands AVs, understands drivers, understands the rider language, and understands the big picture. And Khosrowshahi is doing a better job, right? He's not a great media guy. He's rather camera shy, but he's definitely better.
I think he doesn't like people.
I don't think he likes people at all. I think he's afraid of people.
Some people are like that, but I think he doesn't like people.
He looks like he looks like an introvert. He always seems to be.
Every time I see a picture, like even there's a picture of Sergio and him together taking a picture, and it just looks like he wants to, like, I need to go away.
Yeah. I gave Sergio so much shit for that. Like, how on earth could you?
I wish I had it right now to show everybody.
Sergio, what were you doing? No, good for him. Good for him.
No,
He
it was.
it was
I
good
guess
for him.
what I took away from the picture was, hey, no joke, guys. He is talking to some high level people, obviously.
Yes, and he has access to them.
Yes.
And I remember I remember getting a call, and I thought, oh, this sounds too good to be true, where they said, hey, can you schedule a 30-minute Zoom meeting with David Risher? And I'm like, yeah. And it was all legit. It came, via the channels. And it actually, after the 30 minutes, he said, you mind if we go on for another 15 minutes? And I said, absolutely. And I think we covered really good stuff. And I sort of like, as I was warming up to him and hoping and praying, okay, just like Sergio did with Koshashawi and Risha, I hope these people follow through, right? They've made a ton of promises in 30 or 45 minutes. They make a lot of promises when they're in front of the camera. But, following through, is another thing. And I think it had a lot to do, the conversation had a lot to do with wrongful deactivations. We sort of focused on that topic. And,
Yeah.
but again, they'll have a lot of interviews. They'll obviously show influencers and people like us. Hey, we're interested in you, and we want to get your feedback. What are they truly doing with that feedback? I mean,
That's
you know,
exactly what I was just going to say.
oh,
Like, not like they were totally like, let's get his mind and then just twist it to
yeah.
the dark side. But I wonder, like, do they take the good information you gave them and use it in a good way? Or are they
You
somehow going, okay, I see what he's saying. How do we manipulate that? Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, you would
it's
hope
like,
they
I
use it
know
in a
how
good
you're
way.
telling it. This is to help everybody. But I wonder how they take it in.
Yeah, and the feedback they're getting from real drivers, boots on the ground, versus Risha pushing out a press release that he's still a driver, and it said like every 6 weeks, and he understands how important every minute is. I think I made a video just 2 days ago about that. I mean, who you kidding, dude? Seriously, who you kidding? So, and these little think tanks or these little driver meetings that they put, we heard you, we listened to what you have said, and we've implemented. And you always see, like, okay, with Uber, like, we implemented this. This is not what drivers wanted. Come on, man. This is drivers presented you with a lot of good material and ideas, and you sort of like massaged it and spun it off in a different direction that could have helped you. So, um, I'm sorry. They ain't listening. And would they listen? I mean, would they use these two little devices? I think they'd be in a much better place now. But we know the bigger picture, right? We understand what
But
the
I
bigger
think
picture.
they do have to. I mean, at the same time, I'm glad you did talk, and I'm glad Sergio talks to him. I'm glad whoever gets a chance talks to him, because I do think they're listening more now, because before it was like, oh, the drivers are complaining. Who cares? Who
Yeah,
cares
yeah,
about the drivers? And I hate to say it that way, but that was the buzz. But now, I mean, I know there's a whole story we could get into that I've already addressed, so I won't. But there's a whole thing going on in Boulder, where Boulder restaurants, and it's like the Republic of Boulder to those that know, but like Boulder Restaurants Group, Big Red F, and others are making DoorDash deliver for them for free. It's a long story, but they've said, screw you. We're not doing this anymore. And they pay the drivers direct. It's a weird system.
wow,
And in fact, I should probably just put this up. I don't know if I have the right date up here, because it's supposed to be, no, it's not. It's now next month, guys. I can't remember it's March, but that is Dave Cleary, the owner of Big Red F. And I used to bartend for Dave. So
oh really?
and he's the
Cool.
one that runs the company. So he's doing this. But I want to move into this because Uber offers a lot of services. They offer rideshare, they offer Eats, they offer Connect, they offer Teen, which we already addressed. Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Pet, that's up to you. I don't think you should do pet, because you're going to run into Sean's in here. I know he does some pet down in Colorado Springs. So nothing against it. If it works for you, cool. Here in
Yeah,
Denver, I know what I would get, and it wouldn't be pretty. I'd be
yeah,
picking up wet dogs from a
yeah.
swim and no. Um, but all of
And
these services, just because they're offered on the app, does not mean and liquor. booze delivery. We've been proving this one left and right. Everybody that I've had on from any city, we look up their city on the podcast. They're my guest. And we have found that if it's not tip certification, it's something else. You got to be certified.
Yeah.
I mean, package liquor has to, delivery package liquor people have to. People who work in restaurants and bars, you have to be tip certified. You can't serve alcohol unless you're tip certified.
Right.
So just because it's on there for an extra $3, guys, and you're like, but they allow us to scan the ID, we're doing it right. Yeah, but you haven't. I did this for 25 years. You haven't been trained to do it right.
Yeah, there's
And
no.
I've had a lot of people say, I know it says it, but you know, like what is like what's the problem? I checked, it's them. Well, there's a lot that goes into checking it's them, but also you are responsible. If they're drunk, you can't
Correct.
serve them.
Yeah.
Even at home. Even at home, you cannot sell liquor and deliver liquor to a person that's drunk.
Absolutely. And I mean, you could be,
as you probably know right away, Torsten, if you do, and you're doing the right thing as a driver, now, first of all, you did the wrong thing by taking the order. But if you do the right thing and go, I can't serve you, you appear to be buzzed. You are just a Uber Eats DoorDash driver. They're drunk at their house. This could get physical very quickly.
Very quickly, yeah. They want the alcohol.
They want it bad. They've been waiting. They think they watch you coming on the app. They're getting excited. Now you're going to tell them to their face. They've been drinking all night. Sorry, bud.
Yeah, and then
like
you bringing over
it, but
and you, let's say you sweet and innocent, you're bringing over this bottle of whiskey. Guy's already slammed, finishes off half of that bottle of whiskey, gets in the car, drives around the corner, huge accident, kills another person in the other car. I mean, the attorney is going to ask the guy, well, who brought you the alcohol? Who? And there you are. You honestly think that Uber's going to have your back there, right? I don't think so. I mean, they known for throwing you under the bus, especially when it comes to accidents, right? I mean,
100.
Your problem. When things go wrong, they go horribly wrong. It's why you got to listen to some of Brian Greening's podcast, right? You got to really make sure you have the right insurance in place and you're doing the right thing by the book, because it can happen to anyone. It just has to happen once. And like you said, they're just not certified to do that job. It's the same thing with a restaurant, right? If you see a drunk person walking into a nightclub with that, you can stop them right there. Sorry, you're not coming inside.
My door guys would never, or me working the door, like whoever it is, we know it's all stages. We know you're not getting in.
You know exactly how to manage that and how to stop that. You're trained for that, and I mean it's
there's people inside watching you, card people too. They know if there's a situation what to do.
Yeah, exactly. So that unfortunately that training is not there. I don't know how many scenarios have gone wrong, in the world of alcohol delivery, but there's got to be a couple of drivers that have paid the price dearly on this one,
And I pointed out to people, I'll tell you this, one thing that I used to catch, because we were in downtown Lodo, Denver, and that's by Denver University. A lot of times there were people who were very close to 21, but I knew what was going on. I know this from growing up in Michigan. Older brothers were giving their younger brothers their ID. So it was real close. It was hard to distinguish because it's like a 2-year difference and it's a younger brother. It looks just like it, but you just look at something. You just got to catch something,
That's it.
You just know. But I mean, like that is going to get past any of you guys who have never done this and don't know what you're doing. Those people will get past you every time. And now you've served liquor potentially to a party of kids with a swimming pool and one drowns. Guess what? As stupid as all this sounds, you're now going to get your ass sued.
Exactly.
And Uber Eats and DoorDash and Drizzly and Instacart are going to say, I don't know that guy.
Yeah. And then, unlike Rideshare,
we just sent the offer out. We didn't know he wasn't alcohol certified. That's what'll be said. And you'll be saying, you never told me I had to be.
Yeah. And that rideshare insurance of yours, or that car or commercial, ain't going to cover the dead person in the pool, right? And in a car accident, it's a whole different scenario doing rideshare. But doing a delivery and things go south, there's no one to have your back, unfortunately. So yeah, it sounds attractive, that little extra little delivery fee, a few dollars more. That's sort of how they bait you. But I'm glad you brought it up. I mean, and by the way, CEOs, hopefully, if you are listening in, or if somebody shares this information with you, here's a golden opportunity. Learn from this podcast. Put things in place, put training in place, videos, tutorials, etc., whatever you have to do. But you've got a golden opportunity here to train people, right? When you start, like when you were working in a restaurant or in a bar, the people trained you up the right way. So by the time they allowed you to handle these type of folks, you've seen it all, right? And you've heard it all, and you're ready for them. These drivers are not ready for those type of characters.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have, I mean, there's all these issues, but then we have, there's assault on drivers too, guys. These sexual assaults are not alone. Like he was talking about, like we were talking about assaults on drivers. Hell, when we first did our first podcast like 4 years ago, they were still too high and it wasn't near. But now, as we just showed, it's daily. Sexual assaults and killings and stuff are almost daily. If not killings, assaults that are really weird and out there,
and
like way too much.
And as soon as the sun goes down in the later hours or the early hours of the morning, weekends, Friday nights, Saturday nights, these stats go up. I know a lot of females that don't like driving during those hours, just way too dangerous for them. Prefer delivering or driving in the mid-afternoon hours. So it's out of control. But again, are the companies finding ways or spending the money or investing into new technology or ways to keep drivers and riders safe? No, they're not. I mean, this verification nonsense, this little blue asterisk. What does that really mean?
You know what that should mean? But it should be for everybody. But you know what that should mean? I was fingerprinted. I was really background checked.
Yeah. And I mean, there's different levels of background checks. I mean, they're paying for the cheapest background check, right? $6
in the
something.
World. In the world. $23.
Yeah. And I mean, there are more vigorous background checks, but they're not willing to spend that money. And hence they have the problems, right? If they're not willing to spend the money on safety and security, they've shown us very clearly, this is where we save X amount of millions every single year. Well, then along with that come all the horror stories and the 9 o'clock news stories. So really?
Yeah.
Boils down to this, Steve. It's all about the money.
But I've said before, and I've talked to David, David from Para. David and I did great work together before they became gig safe, and they're still doing good things. But I mean, like, I got to be honest, like I was really into ParaWorks. I was really loving some of the projects, but we talked about, and I presented to him an idea about why not allow people. And I was kind of shocked the first time I put this out there, because I asked the chat, and I'll do it again right now. Would you pay for this? I asked, would you pay like $100 a year, 150 a year tops? Let's just say 100, just to keep it easy. Fingerprint, background. The background check is real, and you get like a token, a certification that gets you on every app. There's no more dealing with checker random checks and this and that. And, checker's going to run this. Oh, did you move? Well, you're deactivated for 3 months because we have trouble when you move states. Like stupid things. Like this would be a real background check that would supersede any checker thing. Now, it's a win-win, because if you do that, and the way I was saying it, you pay for it. So now the company doesn't have to waste, even though it's cheap, the $23 to do your background check.
Yeah. And though,
I would be willing to pay for it, is my point. I had a lot of people say they would not pay for that. I was kind of shocked.
I'm kind of shocked as well. I mean, your life's not worth $100, But and then then these background checks, what now they're every 6 months maybe. I mean, there's a lot that can go wrong in 6 months, right? Later on, there is a topic that you're going to be bringing up. I'll touch on that. There is a company out of Israel that has basically daily updates on security on the riders and drivers, up to date. But we'll touch on that a little bit later, and I think it's very promising. I think they are trying to sell this technology to Uber and Lyft, and they're using another company as a platform to launch it in the United States. But I'll touch on that later. It sounds way more advanced, at least security-wise, than anything that Uber or Lyft have. You know what I mean?
So what the hell's going on at the airports? What is up with these placards now? I'm seeing weird news about it, and I'm like, I know people who love airport rides. I mean, we're back in the day. I remember all
Yeah,
this, but I was never a big fan, especially for me. I know you guys have LAX, which isn't that great, but Burbank can be a little easier. But like Denver's like gone. It's like 40 miles outside of town.
yeah.
So I mean, like really, like they built the new DIA way out of town, so it's a whole hike. And then you wait in the staging lot. But now, what is up with these placards? What are they doing?
Well, the problem, I think with airports, I think Uber and Lyft just shot themselves in the foot by just jacking up. They took such advantage of the riders because they know they have the riders. At that point, when the person arrives, they want to get home, right? And there's the option of taxi or rideshare. That's it, and they've got them. So they just the prices for riders at airports are through the roof, through the roof.
Oh yeah.
Then they know that there's a certain group or a certain type of people that loves hanging out at airports, sleeping in the back of the car. And nothing against you guys, but like they sort of like that community feel. They'll sit there for hours and then they sort of wander off, take a trip, they come back and they meet with their buddies again, huddle. They love that. It's the daily routine. I sort of understand why some people like that, but you're not making money. You're fitting into that perfect driver that Uber and Lyft can take advantage of at an airport, and airports is just no money to be made anymore, right? The rates that they're paying at airports, it's just pathetic, and the same goes here for LAX. And what I think, back to your question, you said, what's going on with these placards? I've read a lot of comments in the last 2 to 4 weeks of hubs and green light hubs, and these helps, and it's shutting down everywhere. And so those are massive overheads for Uber and Lyft, having security at a location, the rent, the staff, the management. It's a big overhead.
I mean, oddly, I need to say it for those that don't know. What he's talking about is the hubs are for, like, Rideshare used to have a few here. It's been years since they've had them here. I know that there was still some, but like for those that don't know, they were a place that you could actually go in and talk to people.
Yes. And then it's shutting them all down. So, where do you get your placard now? It's all shifting online. Everything is AI, customer services, AI, bots, etc. That's sort of the whole movement. The real humans, boots on the ground, get replaced with these machines. So placards now has become like a whole online thing. It's you can't walk in and talk to a human about your issue. And sometimes you got lucky at a hub. Sometimes you actually got a real human who listened. It was maybe 1 out of 5. You like 1 out of 5 people genuinely wanted to help you. They're getting paid an hourly. It must be an extremely frustrating job, having people shit on your head all day long over problems. That's why they go to the hub, because they have a problem. They need to get a problem fixed. And it's a tough one, but there were a few times I enjoyed going to a hub. And then it became like hard and heavy. If you just said the wrong word, the security would march you out. Then there were not just 1 or 2 security guards, and there were 5 guards, then there were 10 guards. And that should tell you a lot how this has shifted and changed over the years. The aggression, the upset, the anxiety, the problems. And now suddenly they've taken that all away, and you have to literally deal with customer service where you're going nowhere, or online, which
Well,
becomes
and
really, really.
good luck with that. I don't know that you can get a human anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so. Except for maybe a couple of people working as techies in San Francisco as programmers or executives, but the rest is sort of like vanished, right?
Yeah.
So, and that across the board, I mean, we hear it from everyone how customer service sucks, and repetitive cut and paste nonsense. I mean, you're spinning around in this wheel and you're not getting anything resolved. In fact, you're wasting so much time, you're actually losing money. You're trying to maybe go in and fight a trip where you believe they owe you $2 more. You spend an hour trying to resolve it, and in the meantime, you've lost $20, right? So very often you got to just take your loss. Okay, they underpaid me $2 there. The anger, the upset that these sort of like customer service bots or whatever call centers cause you is just not worth your health. It isn't anymore. It's just become so pathetic, really.
And these
But
companies that all call themselves SaaS, software as a service, Uber, all these apps, like now they're proving it. Now they're like, we don't have people anymore. Like
no,
I had somebody
I
say to
mean,
me, who was it? I had somebody say to me, you're lucky if you can get AI chat. Like sometimes
yeah,
you get on there and now it's just got like the flow screens. And unless like you do the right order where it's like, okay, we need to get you to somebody, it just says like you've hit a brick wall. Sorry. Like it just ends and it says this is
yeah,
done.
that's it. Exactly.
And
So,
that's there should always be a way to get me a person right now.
right, but let's take a step back here. Where's this industry going? Right, they're obviously heading towards autonomous vehicles. They're trying to desperately phase out drivers. And this AV world is costing them a fortune right now. They are,
And
they're losing, and us. We
because
losing money, they losing money, the company supplying the cars is losing money. This all starts maybe balancing out in the next 5 to 10 years, and they'll start, these Waymos ain't running a profit. As you found out there, those Waymos were controlled from the Philippines. These backup drivers were in the Philippines. So you can see how badly they're trying to save costs wherever they can. And this suits them perfectly fine, shutting down all the hubs, getting rid of all the humans that are actually trying to help other humans, replacing them with bots, replacing them with AI. It's like sad times we live in, Steve. It's really a
it is.
whole shift. And you as a human, no matter how old you are, I'm 57. I've got to get accustomed, and I've got to understand and learn about this new world. Otherwise, I get left behind, right? Kids
Yeah.
obviously adapt far quicker, but it's like an adapt or die situation right now. You've got to sort of find a way to navigate through all that AI madness, that bot madness. I just find it extremely frustrating. It's not personal. The personal touch is gone. The service is gone. That's really why I enjoy private trips, because it's one on one. You just enjoy that human touch. I feel that ride
So
shares.
that's a perfect lead into that. So I've talked to Jeff about this before too. And since I've known Jeff, he's been he's been like, dude, I mean, anytime his videos, there's no covering it up. He's get your private rides, man. And
Yeah,
I know you feel that way too. I feel that way too.
yeah,
What is your take on it? Because I like the just simplistic idea. I like to put it out there to people. Listen, if you are grooving with somebody,
yeah.
then
It-
let
good,
them
good.
know. Show them a QR code. Tell them you do it. It's not a big deal. You're an independent contractor by the company's definition.
Exactly. Going back, Jeff and I really just started on the wrong foot, but we became really, really good friends. And I was always pushing Jeff. I said, I love your Jeep. I love your BMW. I can't wait for the day to see a nice big black SUV limo outside of your house. I know it's you. You cut out for the job. So he actually took my gig rocket private chauffeur course, and we just went back and forth so many times. I love the way he converts or cares about rideshare drivers and converts them to that world, that opportunity. It is not difficult, and you just hit it right there, right? Bam! Steve hit it, and it's that groove, that personal touch. I have this family or this guy in my car, and you head it off. You know exactly, those veterans know exactly who I'm talking about. You chit chatting, you talking about everything. How many kids do you have? How many kids? Where you guys traveling to? Are we going to Europe? And you know you're on the way to the airport, and it's just flowing. That is the perfect person. Jeff also talks about this. That's the perfect person to convert to your own client. And the way I do it, and in the course, I'll show them the way I make those business cards. There's me, the face, not suit and tie, but nicely dressed, and the car on the back that they're going to be getting into in the future. And I say, hey, by the way, you guys have an awesome holiday. I hope you enjoy Amsterdam, because they've told me they're going to Amsterdam. Here's my card. If you are ever stuck anywhere, 24/7, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, you cannot get an Uber, you cannot get a Lyft. So, I'm not trying to aggressively take them, but and I'm there for you. Here's my card. Remember me. And it's just such a nice soft sale. It's a lead in because you already have set and established that friendship in the car. You can do that in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 50 minutes, right? You have that friendship going, that jive or that vibe that you call it. And those really become your customers for life. If you take care of them. I also have another great technique. I like if I picked someone up back in the day from Calabasas, I say this trip possibly cost you $200 on Uber, right? I know that because I just checked it up, right? I just checked it up and they go, wow, yeah, you're right. I tell you what, and this is after we've had a bit of a conversation. In the future, you don't have to pay 200. I'll do it for 170 or I'll do it for 160, right? That's $40.
That's a great part of the pitch.
That's $40
pricing.
Yeah, that's $40 instant savings for you. And that's $50, $60 more than Uber would pay me because you know what? Uber takes 70, I get 30. So on that $200 trip, I'm getting 30%. I'm only getting $65, $70. And now suddenly you paying me 160. I've made $80 more. You saving $40. It's a win-win situation for both of us. They like that. They understand that math. They're business people. So it's not hard to convert them, but you got to do it the right way. There's a lot of people that'll aggressively go after people and convert them to private trips, not having everything in place. And that's what I teach the people on Gig Rocket in the private chauffeur course. Every city, every state has its requirements for the licensing. When you're going out, whether you're buying a Cadillac or a Suburban or a Toyota Center, most of these dealerships have a commercial fleet program and then the regular car. You can't go out and buy a regular car thinking that, okay, now I'm going to register an LLC, I'm going to get the paperwork with the state, the right insurance, and off I go. You've just shot yourself in the foot because you didn't finance that vehicle as a commercial vehicle. So you got to make sure that you have everything covered properly to do this business, and then you can start converting them all day long, right?
Because I would just use your example of straight up, if you feel comfortable with the client,
exactly,
just straight up what the payment is. What are you paying? $200. That sucks because I'm only making 50. Tell you what, I'll cancel the ride. Not on you. I'll cancel the driver. If you want to pay me, and I'll just keep it even low. It should be higher, but if it was going to be 200 and you were going to get paid 50, I'll do it for $100. You want to pay 100 instead of 200?
Yeah. And Steve, I'll tell you something.
I'll do it all day long as I don't feel like the driver's a scammer.
Yeah. I'll tell you some crazy stories. You want to have that person for life, right? And I don't share this with the rider, but I know that I'm taking him down there, and then when I know what time I'm going to arrive at LAX, and I know that I'm picking up a private client. So I said, I tell you what, the first one is on me. It's on me. Because I have a monetized trip back. He doesn't know that. She doesn't know that. And I said, but I hope you will consider me in the future and give them the card. I will guarantee you it's worked every single time. I said the first one's on me. You serious? I kid you not. This one is on me. I really enjoyed, your attitude.
You must feel pretty good about those customers, though, to
Very
do
good.
that.
And very good. And by the way, those people, that's your people smarts, and you learn that. You also learn that in the restaurant business.
Who's your regulars, who's
Who's
your big
slim,
tippers.
slim shady. You know who's real. You know who's not. And when you have that client, I tell you what, that quality client, you are getting quality referrals because good people surround themselves with good people. So from one individual, I'm going to get another 5 quality referrals. Right, just got a nice. I got an elderly couple the other day, and I drive their CPA, their accountant, and the guy's like, he loves you, and so he gave us your number, and now I have this 80, and the 80-year-olds. I love driving those seniors. They have the best stories, right? I mean, rich people, they have money, they want to travel in an SUV. You handle the luggage for them. Hey, I'll take care of that. You don't have to pick that up. I carry the luggage up into the bedroom. I go as far as I can, but you'll have them for life, and then they'll tell their family, they'll tell their neighbor, and you've got another good person and another good person. You just start growing it. So Jeff is also a master at it, and I'm super happy to see that he has this.
And I think you've been doing it as long as he had. In fact, I always thought of it, but I never really attacked on it. I had some people way back pre-pandemic ask me, and I did it for them. But I mean, I never attacked it. I mean, this is what you want to do. I honestly believe at this point you should be taking the risk. If you're thinking, but I could be deactivated, you could be deactivated in your sleep. So it doesn't matter. Take the risk. If you think it's a good client, trust me.
But again, it's a very, very calculated risk. It's like I didn't see it. I didn't see it as a risk because when I solicited that person, and I want to call it like a soft sell because it was not a hard sell. A hard sell is people that aggressively go after everyone. They'll go to SoFi concert. Hey, switch your app off. I'll give you this for half the price. Dangerous. You don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know who's going to turn you in. No, only the ones where you're 150% certain they are your friend. They're not going to turn you in, and you feel comfortable around them. And I've been doing this, for 12 years, 13 years running now. And I started converting. I looked at the numbers that a friend was doing in LA. I looked at his fleet and I said, you got to teach me everything on this fleet. The return on investment was insane. So I started buying cars, leasing them out to drivers, learned the ins and outs. There's in business, if you go and learn the business. So I think, okay, the way I'm going to learn the business, I'm going to try X out for a short while, hated it. I did XL for a short while, hated it. I did the SUV and suddenly I had interesting people in the car. And I thought, okay. And I immediately started thinking, okay, now I'm going to convert them into my own private clients. And it took no time. And 3-4 months into the game, I was already converting people into my private clientele. And then the percentage started fading away. At some point, you're doing 50% Uber with a little bit of Lyft, 50% private clients. Today, it's 99 to 100% private clients. And guess what? I'm putting 100% of that fee he or she is paying, whether it's on a credit card, whether it's Venmo, whether it's Zelle. It's going to me. It's not going to the company. So actually training and showing a person how to do that step by step is, I find, extremely rewarding. The most rewarding stories, just give you one or two. I was driving a group of drunk ladies, and the first drop was at a hotel, 5-star hotel, and the guy in front of me had this amazing Mercedes Maybach and was dressed, African American guy, dressed. And he came up to me. He goes, "Are you Torsten, rideshare professor?" And my girl, all the girls in the car were drunk, and they was like, they would say, "Torsten, who is this guy?" I said, "I don't know, but I'm just gonna say hi to him because he was nice to me." And he said, "Can I give you a hug?" So give him a hug then thing, and the guy started tearing up, and then the girls are all tearing up, "Hey, what's going on?" And he goes, "I used to drive UberX and took your course in that, and now I have my fleet of cars. I met a fleet owner that took my course like 4 years prior, and it was a very moving moment. And it like these were all ladies married to very very wealthy men. They'd been partying all night. I drove them everywhere, and
Mhm.
they were so moved by that. And like, shit, what do you do now? So I told them about the YouTube world. I told them about like, hey, we did not even know this world existed. We thought you were the driver. And this is how, you never judge a book by its cover. You don't know who's in front of you, right, Steve? I treat everyone with respect. I'll give everyone uh, the time of the day that they deserve. And who knows? And the other thing is, in this private trips, who knows who you are going to be driving next and what type of relationship. I have 3 business investors from some of my clients in Hidden Hills that have companies with me, right? And maybe I've been driving them and their children for 10 years. We're doing business together, Airbnbs.
Mhm.
And so you never, ever know. I get access to the SoFi suites, the crypto
Oh, yeah.
arena, and I'm getting these tickets for my kids. So it's not just, you're not just a driver. You're a friend. You're their
And
therapist. You're their
tickets to
everything.
kids. If I have a kid, he has
Oh,
kids. Tickets to
gold,
kids are gold because these
gold,
days a concert's $5,000.
crazy. Taylor Swift, Kendrick Lamar. If I give those tickets to my kids,
Yeah,
Tyler the Creator, whatever it is, they're like. And then I sometimes get so many tickets because the client doesn't want the suite, and I'm getting 12 or 25 tickets. I kid you not. And
yeah,
and I do bartering, right? I give them trips. I'm not expecting that for free,
yeah.
but the kids benefit from that. They're not paying $2,500 for a Taylor Swift concert ticket, or $5,000, like you said. And then sometimes I even have them invite their friends. So it it's pretty special. And then that all comes from private driving, right? It all started somewhere with a business card. It started with a conversation. It started
Mhm.
with building trust over time. So I hope that drivers, have plan B and plan C ready. This is a great, great exit plan, because those people I'm talking about right now, they hate Waymos.
Right. And if you build those clients before anything more goes down or any more drops in pay, but I also wanted to mention this. This is a friend of mine who I know that he's saying he took your course.
Oh, awesome, and nice to meet you. Can you read out the name? My eyes, I'm on the phone.
Well,
Can you read out the name?
his handle is Traveler. He's in upstate New York. I would leave it up to him if he wants to. I know him very well.
Shout out to you. Shout out to New York. Thank you.
But yeah,
Awesome.
he says
So
rideshare is a
yeah,
perfect way to screen. And then there's this too, and I think this is very important. This is the Colorado rideshare guy. I don't know if you even know that exists, but this is not the rideshare guy. It's the Colorado rideshare guy. I know
it
Sean.
is. Nice to
Um,
meet you.
and he says, make sure you know your local laws and have proper insurance before you do these off-app rides.
Amen. Exactly. And that's the foundation, right? That you know the laws, you know what type of insurance is needed, you know what comes along with running this business. And unfortunately, like when we talk about insurance, it has become extremely expensive, commercial insurance. And the overheads running this type of business are far, far higher. That's why a lot of people shy away. It's just too risky to jump into this arena because there are a lot of costs attached to it. But the rewards, once you have the clientele, once you have the momentum, once you're over that 1 year or 1.5 year mark and it starts snowballing, then those costs, you don't really look at them anymore. But I can understand why a lot of people don't want to get into this business, because as they are shopping around, okay, I got to buy this car, this insurance, it becomes extremely expensive. I mean, the TCP, the transport charter permit in California, is one of the highest in the country. It's a whole 2-month process. And with an annual renewal, with your startup fees, I mean, you're looking at $1,500 to $2,000 just to get into the game. So a lot of people shy away from that at first. But if you're that right type, if you have the Steve personality, or if you're the Torsten type of personality, or like that gentleman in there, and like, I know who I am, I'm confident, I can do this, I have a great personality, I love being around people, I truly, truly love people. I love having those conversations and learning from other intelligent people. Absolutely love it. How they enrich in my life, right? So that then I can say, hey, you know what? I'm ready. I can go in there. If there's these ifs or doubts and you're a little bit, you're not cut out for this business, maybe not quite your thing. Maybe
Right. If
you
you're an
continue.
introvert, you're not going to be a good bartender.
You're
You're not
not
going to
get,
be
yeah,
a good private ride driver. You're not going to.
100%.
I mean, this
100%.
is going off on your own in the service industry. So I mean,
And
you
thank you
really
for
need to
allowing me
be.
to spend some time and talk about that, because it's just a topic I get really excited about. I love it. And
Well, I think all rideshare drivers, especially at this point where we are right now, yeah, you know what? I don't tell people to get on the apps. I don't tell them to get off. I say this all the time. I'm here to help you if you're on them. I'm here to expose things and talk about stuff. But I think at this point, Lyft and Uber should only be to let you know, like, do it and go and put the money aside for a minute, but go, do I'm not feeling comfortable doing this. If you're not already feeling comfortable doing it, it's
yeah,
probably not going to be a good idea to go farther. Maybe look
yeah,
into other gigs.
yeah,
But if you're feeling comfortable, I view Lyft and Uber as still something very great for us because it's your
I
training
agree.
ground.
Yeah, it is. It's the best training ground, even for other jobs, in job interviews. If you're telling a person I work for Uber Lyft, you you have a whole different um, skill set, right? You've dealt with people, you've dealt with geography, you've made decisions in tough situations. People like that on your resume. It's not a negative; it's a huge plus. And I'm like you. I'm not putting Uber and Lyft down. I'm just really disappointed and
Oh, I
upset
am.
with yeah. I mean, I'm using them to my best advantage, but like I'm upset with what these executives think they can get away with. That what pisses me off daily.
Well, and that's
Um,
that's the kind of the where I'm saying about where we are now. Uber, Lyft, the customers being ripped off more than ever, and they recognize it. The
they
passengers,
recognize it.
they know
Yeah,
this. They're
yeah,
not idiots, and so now is that time. If you feel comfortable, start grabbing clients because money
yep,
matters to everybody.
100%.
Maybe at a time when way back in the day, like when Torsten started or when I started Rideshare, it was a
Yeah,
better split and all that. But like, see, we really didn't need to dissect this in 2014, 2015. But now you should be thinking big game when you get into this.
exactly. Slim pickings right now. You
Yeah.
don't hear that sound so often. Back in the day, it was like, not today.
Right. But you might get that guy who's traveling on business. Actually, you will,
You
and who
will.
has to use Uber. He's sick of it. He hates it. When he's
Yeah,
home, he doesn't use it anymore. He's sick
perfect
of it.
candidate.
But he's like, you know
Perfect
what? I
candidate.
got to get to the airport. There you go. And maybe he lives in your city, or maybe he's a pilot. There's a
Yeah.
couple pilots around here that do private rides.
I
They
have a
love it.
sales lady 3 times a month. She travels to Hawaii to visit her clients or her practices, and I know I'm going to
And
get the
yeah,
call.
and it's like a curry run or a catering order. You're booking these ahead of time. That's much better to know this and oh, when do you get back? Then I will text you an hour before to let you know I'm there. You're in contact like they've never seen if you do it right.
Yeah, and I think the same can be done in the food delivery business. Let's be honest, right? It's not just rideshare stepping into the limo or private driver arena. If you're in a busy area and you're doing a lot of food deliveries per day and you're getting your cards out, you can establish your regular clientele, you'll get to know them, like, on, because some people have conversations once they drop the food off. By the way, I'd also do private food deliveries. Cool. Let's cut out the middleman. Or let's help the restaurant make 25% more. That's another one, right? I mean, you have
Mm-hmm.
that one-on-one relationship with a customer. One winner in that type of relationship. There's going to be a third winner. It's going to be a win-win-win scenario because the restaurant is going to be cut out of that 25-30%, right? That
Mm-hmm.
that they have to give up to Uber Eats, to Grubhub, to DoorDash. So it truly, at the end of the day, and there are a handful of people around the country doing this, food deliveries for
Sure.
people that just regularly order food almost every evening or a few times a week. Well, why not, right? Why not?
Yeah.
And along with that, obviously, don't come all these stringent requirements or these commercial insurance, etc., because it's basically you, your car, the client, the restaurant, and delivering the food on time, right? It's
Yeah.
like you're not facing all of these massive overheads. So I would hope that more food delivery drivers do this.
Yeah,
But
I can say, because I do some too, and I can say that I think a lot of food delivery people will resonate with this. It is tough, and maybe you're going, how do I really get to them? So here's one idea. This is just one idea.
yeah,
Maybe it's not like Friday night and it's banging. Maybe it's like Friday afternoon and it's kind of slow, and you're getting barely, anything, but you're picking up some stuff. And maybe you get to a nice house and you're taking a delivery to a family and you feel very comfortable with this, and you realize, oh my gosh, they didn't include the plates and the silverware.
yeah.
And you say, you know what? I'll go back
I'll-
and get it for
I'll-
you.
exactly. That's customer
But
service.
why don't you use me the next time? I'll do it for much cheaper.
Nice. And then COVID presented those opportunities. I I didn't have that many people traveling whatever overseas, but I was charging the same rates. I was going out, maybe getting a few items for them from a store, or I was charging the same rates, $150 to $200. These people were paying that.
Yeah.
It was COVID. They didn't want to go out. I was carrying the risk, and but yeah, you got to. I think you just got to use your business smarts and find the opportunity within the opportunity. And there's always money to be made. Like if you know how to make money, if it's in your DNA, it's there. It's ingrained. And I think Uber and Lyft drivers have a great advantage. There's a certain skill set that they're bringing along and learning as they're doing this job, that they can go and branch off in any direction they really want to. But yeah, what are we going to cover next?
So we covered the AI. Oh, I wanted to show you this. This is nuts. So Sue, thank you for sending me this today. I'm sure I would have ran across it, but luckily Sue is in there in the chat, and she sent this to me today. I hadn't seen it yet. Came out from the rideshare guy. Kind of mind blowing. Looks like Waymo has partnered with Doordash to deal with doors left open by riders. This is on Waymo's. A Doordash driver shared an 1125 offer to do one specific task: close the door on a Waymo vehicle. Since Waymo cars don't automatically close doors like Zooks, any car left open by a previous passenger can't move until a human steps in. Until now, they've typically used I don't know where Harry's coming up with these $22 to $24, because no tow truck I know of does anything for less than 100. But
This is very interesting. I mean,
and
this is
so
the
no,
first time.
here's the next part. Here's the screenshot.
Wow. So
625 625 guaranteed. And look at what the driverless digest. Look at what it says underneath Waymo vehicles. Close a Waymo door. No pickup or delivery.
And Tony Zoo's making a lot of money there, because he's charging them more than,
Oh, I'm sure.
Tony Zoo is loving Waymo because he has a lot of drivers that'll close doors. I mean, good for the driver. That's an easy one if you're in the area.
But is it? Again, I maybe this one is okay, but I always look into these and say, again, I go back to, are you insured? It might sound dumb, but dude, I don't want to touch a Waymo. I don't want to even touch one, dude. They have so many problems. They're
okay, but what is the job description here? The job is for their driver to show up at the Waymo, the rider. And it would be nice if every rider, guys, if you want to do the drivers a favor, leave your doors open, please. Riders that are using Waymos, leave the doors open as you exit.
Leave all of them open.
Leave all four doors open.
That way they air out too.
Let's keep drivers in business. Come on. Work with us. Work with us, people. Cool.
But yeah, so I was going to cover the Uber customer, but I don't think we need to get on that too big, other than the fact that I do want to alert people. We talked about the airport. I do know this in my area to be a fact. If you want to get away from if you want to really, if you don't want airport pricing, friends that I know who fly in and use rideshare, because it's way away from the actual airport, take the shuttle to the rental car row. and then
Yeah.
they call it from there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's half price.
Fraction, yeah, exactly. But you did right. Just to touch on that one on the Uber customer, right? Customers that are signing up for that Uber One membership, that a huge money maker for Uber. Very hard, as we found out, to get out
cancel.
of that, to cancel. There were 22 steps. I mean, it was just insane. Uber got sued royally for that. They got a beating. They paid
and
up
it's
big,
still in
right?
their app though. Every
Um,
step of the way, and it looks like the button you should push next.
I mean, but
But if you're not, so you got to be careful and push the smaller button underneath and really read it.
right, but
Otherwise,
think of the devious minds creating those buttons and making it ultra. I mean, there are teams working together, designing and building these apps to make it as difficult as possible, because difficulty the customer gives up, we make more, we get another 2-3 months membership out of it. I'm glad there was a lawsuit, again, but there's lawsuit after lawsuit. There's tip theft, and you think they've learned from one big lawsuit for a few hundred millions the first time? No, they do it again. It's a never-ending occurrence.
So the only other thing there I wanted to hit on was the battery. They can check your battery, and also if you're in the airport, I mean anywhere, but if you're in the airport, this is where they seem to concentrate. If you open Lyft and you're like, screw that, and you open Uber, Lyft knows you opened Uber. So when you go back to Lyft, it's going to be a lot more.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, but they know when your battery's under 20%, they actually raise the price based on that.
Yeah. That's well documented. I can believe that. I can really believe that. Would be good to run more field tests where we have 5-6 people at one location with different battery charges, and run that test in multiple cities and then do a massive report on it. I can truly believe that, just because of how Dr. Evil Koshashawi over there, and how him and his boys run the teams. Absolutely. Are they doing it? I believe they are.
Well, I can attest to the fact that just recently I had like 18%, and I was turning on Uber Eats, and it said, you're under 20% battery. You need to charge to 20% or more before you can turn on. Yeah. I had it plugged in my car, so it was going to go higher. But my point is, that's proof. They can read my battery.
They can. Absolutely. They have access to all the stuff. I mean, just like we have third-party apps reading data on your phone. Absolutely. I mean, they can tap into the navigation system. They know how you're driving. They know your battery. It's all there. They have the best programmers in the world. They pay these people to access that information, and they use that information against you. Period. That's how it works.
So let's move to what happened here with the fair co-op and the drivers and you.
Super interesting developments here on that front. And so I was approached by these founders 7 years ago. And I was looking at co-ops and how co-ops were behaving out there. And this was 7 years ago. And I said, this can really work if done the correct way. So it was, several years of which I was known for recruiting, getting drivers into the system. And unfortunately, the database, I've got to take the people back a little bit, populating the database with New York, Texas with drivers. And hopefully within a certain given time, they open up that market. As I found out over the years, and that's why I stalled once in a while. And when I stalled and didn't really want to make videos or promote anymore, I remember twice they enticed me, like, yeah, here's $5,000, make a few more videos for us. Here's another $5,000, make a few more videos for us. So I pushed a little bit, but I would say around year 4 or 5, I had some major run-ins with the founders. And, once you get bitten once, you're on the alert. And we had a big fallout a few years ago. I actually was threatened. I got a video from one of their fair Philadelphia leaders who sent me a video that was online of him with a kitchen knife and explaining what he would do to me with a kitchen knife. And this was the leader from the fair co-op. So I lost my shit when I saw that, because my daughters saw that, right? It didn't faze me. I'm like, I'm going to take care of you, kid, the person that made the threat. You're going to have your day of reckoning with me. But like the fact that my daughters saw that and couldn't sleep for 2 weeks. So, I said, the guy's going to pay a high price and you got to cut this guy out. No, we cut him out. We cut him out. He's no longer part of fair co-op. So fast forward, in this last year, I was not promoting anymore. They were not paying their CEO, nice guy, Ivan Olivo. They hadn't paid their counsel, the attorney, for 11 years, Matthew Mahoney. They weren't paying him. Drivers were not being paid. You had what sort of like 14, what they call themselves, team leaders, bringing in these people, but people were not getting paid. Then there was a big investor in 2025, $100,000, facilitated by my friend, and they took the money and they ran. So we're like, hell on, we've had enough. We've seen enough. I've heard enough. And there was a lot of friction between, I can tell you, open friction between myself and these founders, what they were basically doing. And what they were doing is taking money from investors, living the high life. They were jumping around here in the United States, living the high life. Hey, in LA, we want to meet you. We'll want to invite you to dinner at this great restaurant. Interesting thing is, who fitted the tab for the night? I did. I was invited, but I paid the price. So, all the red lights were going on, like, big time, like warning, warning, warning. So then to find out that, and you can look this up. People don't have to take my word for it, but look it up under the CPUC, California Public Utilities Commission. They govern the insurance, right, for California fleet drivers. And if you actually want to go national, they have a national plan. It's an expensive insurance package that you have to pay to the CPUC, pay to play in this arena of rideshare. And so they were taking money from investors. Around July, they were not paying the CPUC any longer. Come September, their license went into suspension, and it's 90 days suspended period. You cannot drive during that period. Every infraction is $5,000. That's what the guy of Empower is facing, $10 million in fine in Washington. And so, but these founders keep on brainwashing and telling the drivers, keep on going. And the people are making money, but not understanding that. And then Brian Greening came in and did a great segment on it. Like, if something goes wrong, or that passenger in your car dies, your life is over, my friend. And so they subjected all of these drivers, including the team leaders, to this. And we blew it up, right? We said, stop, right? Your license is revoked. Anybody wants to go onto Google, put in local driver tech. They operate as fair co-op, local driver tech, CPUC status, and you'll see it is revoked. I might even have a screenshot here. I have it here. This is the screen. PSG 004484, authority group TNC, authority status revoked, right? So they were having these drivers operate on the platform with a revoked license, and we blew this up in December. And the threat started again, and got some legal letters out to them and said, you cannot put these drivers on the road with these conditions. Their licenses in Georgia had expired, and they were basically just running. I'm going to carefully say that. I'm going to prove it in court, because there's a massive class action being filed in Los Angeles Superior Court, spearheaded by myself and a few other people that have put in a lot of years of work into this and have been misled by these individuals. But the good thing is that hundreds and hundreds of drivers that I recruited over the years are joining in on the class action, and we're going to shut it down. The CPUC is working with me. I visited a friend at the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Ventura, California, laid it all out, what these guys were doing. And the funny thing is, when we blew the story up, and it was basically just more or less to protect the drivers, about the fact that they were driving for a company that didn't have an insurance. Not only did the threats and they come, but they quickly removed from their website all of their members and founders, that faces that they were using, names that they were using to attract more drivers. It all disappeared, right? It all disappeared off their website. 404 error code. You couldn't see those people anymore. Now, fast forward into January. They have an Israeli company that has a phenomenal service, right? They're called Hub Security. They have this Ride Secure. It checks the background. It's the best in the world, right? They've literally have teamed up with the best in the world. These guys are traded out, I think, on NASDAQ. Their stock was tanking. They needed a bit of an injection. So they just 2 days ago pushed out a press release that they have the synergy with Fair Co-op and they're going to roll it out in the United States. And in theory, it sounds amazing. In practice, it can be just as great. It could be a fantastic fit. But the people, I think they just haven't done their due diligence. They haven't done their homework on their founders. So I'm in communication with them right now. The money of the investments have already taken place between Israel and the United States. They took a couple of additional $100,000 from a Las Vegas investor. And right now, they feel powerful. They have some money, but the drivers are still in the same position. So I hope they get the insurance sorted out if they want to become, if they want to be legit again and play. But I hope that they start paying those investors back and all the people that work for them and all the drivers that are owed money. So I said to the investors, make good, come clean with all of these people, and I can make a video and I can say it's all being cleared up. But right now, with me there in shit street, I'm gunning for them big time in the court system. And I definitely have an arsenal of attorneys that I've built over the years being in this business, from greening, from Potter Handy, etc. So the game plan here is to move forward. Anyone that attaches themselves with Fair Cop, whether it's Hub Security, everyone's going to be listed as a defendant, and there are going to be multiple plaintiffs, and hopefully there will be a payday. We shall see. But this boils down to ethics. This boils down to how people have been misled, mistreated, and we'll see how it plays out. Right? That's my version, and they're welcome to present theirs. So that's the update on the Fair Co-op. It's gonna happen in the next 2-3 months. It's all gonna blow up.
So, but I'm going to move quickly through this piece because this is delivery for all of you guys who do delivery. I want to build up to something here. I already talked about this on 13 last week, but I want to just run through the points, and then I want to tell you why I ran through them again here. So Doordash, these are Doordash issues that were not tackled at the roundtable. I talked in depth. I talked to Marco. I had him on the podcast, Nova Hustles. And then I had Luis on last week.
Love Luis.
Luis is, you and I both agree. I mean,
creme de la creme. Luis, shout out. Much love to you, my friend.
Luis is my guy, man. That guy is just, he is nothing but good people.
He is such a good human with such good energy, helping everyone. And I just remember the first, I mean, we were going back and forth, and you have a way better relationship with Luis than I do. But the first time I met him, I just he ran up to me, I ran up to him, and it was just like the best hug, and been buddies ever since. And that guy is just a legend in his field, what he's doing for the drivers. And I love the way he researches. I love the way he presents. And he has a massive following. Very, very respected influencer. Definitely.
Yeah. But so here's what Luis went over, and he did hardball. Tony Shu showed up at the roundtable.
Really?
Oh yeah. And I guess he opened it up, and Luis got the first question. And Luis,
right. I saw the pictures. Yes. I was blown away. Yeah. Luis. Okay. Tell me about it.
Well, so he got the first question in, and the first question was, when I made videos 4 or 5 years ago, the comments were, oh, this is good.
Positive.
Thank you for the advice.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. He said, I know ahead of time, no matter what I do, this is what he told Tony Shu, no matter what I do, if I'm about to make a DoorDash video, I know all of my comments will be hate, all of them. He goes, it's hard to make content that is only going to receive hate responses.
He's right. Yeah.
Tony Hsu tried to sidetrack the question. And then somehow another person that I do know who it is, but they got involved and said, Luis, you should know. And I guess Tony's answer was, you're a content creator. You need to know how to handle trolls. And Luis was going, no.
They're
and
not
so
trolls.
Another guy got involved and he's like, he goes, I am a master. I know how to handle trolls. I've got the trolls. Not a problem.
Yeah.
He said, you're not hearing me. He said, the problem is, everybody has this same view. And how is it that he basically said, you're not tied to the street. You don't know what really is going on. And this blew me away because I thought it was so out of line. Now, Tony Hsu admitted that he has 8 million drivers on the platform right now, part-time, full-time, whatever.
Wow.
Luis's videos do great. Luis has over 100,000 YouTube subscribers. He owns the Spanish community
he does
for gig work. Come on.
Fact.
Yeah. And so that's partially probably why they invited him. So Tony had the gall to say to him, Luis, I understand you're part of the DoorDash orbit. However, I have 8 million drivers. You're just a little tiny piece of that. And and Luis played into that and played it a little more. But here's my take. Actually, it's not that little of a piece. 100,000 on 8 million is still 1/80th.
But hang on one second. There's actually different math here, right? The 100,000 is significant. These are people that have subscribed to the channel. Of those 8 million, 3 or 4 million have come across his videos. They may have not subscribed, but he is touching. And I think,
because he's Spanish.
Because you have 100 or 200,000 subscribers, that is not your reach. What you're looking at, like, for example, your daily traffic. How many people are coming into your network daily? And then there's a fraction of that subscribes. So of that 8 million, and it saddens me that like Tony Hsu used that type of approach or manipulation to try and downplay him. My retort to that would have been exactly as I've explained to you. And I said, you know what, by the way, there's not just my channel that has comments. And by the way, beautiful feature now in YouTube, they have an AI, they analyze all your comments. They just brought it out, the YouTube Studio, and it goes through all your comments and does a summary of them, what is going on in your channel. It's so powerful and so accurate and so spot on. But not to go off track here. When you tell Tony Hsu, there's me, there's Harry, there's Steve, there's Jeff, there's driver Mike, right? And by the way, if you look at our total subscribers and the people, we reach all 8 million between us. And the comments are still, there are that minute percentage of trolls always be there. We know how to deal with them. But the 90% is anger, upset. I mean, man, the comments in my channel are getting more and more vicious towards the companies, right? And if I throw in a CEO word, and people react to it even more. So I've backpedaled a bit, right? Like I've realized there are a couple of people in my channel that absolutely hate these individuals and use it as a venting platform, right?
Yeah.
And those are not trolls, by the way. Those are people with genuine
angry drivers.
And we have to acknowledge them, right? I understand why you are angry. I understand that you are writing this because it's a result of the treatment from above. So to diminish that, to lessen that, to downplay that, and try and tell a person like Luis that completely and utterly dominates the Spanish space. Tony Hsu, you got to do better than that, my friend. We just educated you in 5 minutes how this really works. Welcome to the real world, Tony Hsu.
And here's my real quick rundown of 13. I will not take 13 minutes. This is just what wasn't addressed at the damn thing. Like, I get it. When Tony left, they even the team told Luis that was a very data-driven answer. We're sorry about that. That was weird. So that whole thing. But here's what I have. Transparency was not addressed.
Okay.
Illegal accounts was not addressed. And I had a part
Wow.
at the bottom where I already made the video. Torsten's seen the video. He made a video on the video.
Yeah.
So we don't need to go there, guys.
It's real. It's real.
It's out of hand.
It's out of hand.
And so the tier systems, top or platinum, whatever you wanted.
Olympic bullshit.
Yeah, this is a violation of independent contractor law in every state. Tip stealing since 2017. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Wrongful deactivations, illegal alcohol delivery unless you are state certified and you don't tell people that. Illegal driver metrics, on time, acceptance rate, customer rating, illegal against independent contractors. Telematics, they are not a certified telematics company. They work off the fitness portion of the app. That is not telematics. They sell that. Yep. Selling our personal data to non-affiliated companies. That might not sound like much to people, but now it's like dark web style. They're selling it to anybody that'll pay a dime. Creative ways of reducing driver pay. DoorDash dots cost $110,000 each. Waymos are north of 450,000. They're almost $500,000 vehicles. They cannot be doing $2 no tip deliveries. Come on, guys. DoorDash spent $1.2 billion on a table reservation app last year. Pushing customer city fees, we've seen this like up in Seattle and other places, onto the customer and calling it what it is. Seattle city fee, you're paying it. Punishing restaurant partners, price increases on menu items, and cost of service. Void of ethics. Not a lack of, but a void of ethics. Hidden tips, base pay. All this, every single thing, this was not addressed. How is this not addressed at the damn roundtable?
I want to jump in from this message you specifically spoke about Tony Zhu. Hopefully we can get this video viral, share it, especially share it in the DoorDash communities, and then alert the viewer to 1 hour and 36 minutes, right up to 1 hour 42. Do you realize that Steve spoke for 6 straight minutes on all these violations? So what I want you, Tony Zhu, and your team to do, get out your notepad, pay close attention to all the points mentioned between 1 hour 36 and 142, write them down, and let's have another roundtable. I want to be at the roundtable. I'm not a DoorDasher, but I'll have things to say. Stephen wants to be there. Lewis wants to come back. And Tony Zhu, truly, your little cotton balls aside, if you have balls of steel, let's create another round table, Tony Zhu. All the content mentioned between 136, 142, your assistant can write them down. Let's address it. Let's have fun.
Why weren't they addressed?
Because they're afraid. They're afraid. But
the fact that Tony nobody knew Tony was going to show up. The fact that he showed up and these creators are there. These people who have done 30,000 plus deliveries who aren't creators were there. These Reddit users were there. Like
it's intimidating for these people. It's intimidating. The CEO walks in. Wow, the CEO was part of that, but anyone at that table would have thought it's rather intimidating. And then you tread carefully, right? You have an account, you have a YouTube channel. You don't want this asshole ripping you apart after the show, right? So I think it is rather intimidating. And Lewis at least had the steel balls of a Spanish bull to stand up and say, hey, let's talk about
and
this
to
one,
double
right?
down on it.
That's double down.
No, that's not what I said.
Exactly. So Luis, I hope Tony Zhu has courage and invites you and others. I hope I get invited, and people rewind 136.
I want to be invited too, not to
I said you're on the guest list, baby. You're VIP.
I have a lot. I think we have a
VIP list, Steve. You VIP list. You're in the room.
This is why weren't some people there?
This is what they're afraid of. This is what they're afraid of, and I'm pretty sure that as they go through channel, they have people there at the headquarters going through channel by channel by channel. They get the read of the room. They read the comments, and they should be damn worried. And this, hence the acceleration towards food robots, hence the acceleration towards AVs. These people are angry. They're coming after us, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but again, a reminder, anyone, 136 to 142, listen to what Steve said, and let's get this viral. Let's get this into the Doordash rooms, into food delivery, social media rooms. Tony Zoo, pen and paper, notepad, write down those points. Round 2, a table.
Yeah.
That's it. Steve's going to be there. Torsten's going to be there. Lewis is going to be there.
The reason I wanted to bring this back up is because, guys, we do have, and we've had it for a minute, Torsten and I were talking about it before we started, the Delivery Network Driver Transparency and Protections Act that I wrote.
Yes.
It's up on change.org.
Yes.
I'm going to see if I can post that into the chat for all you guys. I really would, you guys, Torsten
sign it.
He's going to share it to his audience.
Sign it, share it. The content in there, right? Like I'm saying, if like, again, let me use Tony Zoo. If he would actually read through that, watch his reaction. He'd freak out. We need to get these type of petitions, these type of things viral, right? Because it's all loaded up with the stuff they don't want to hear and that you can understand. So sign it, share it. I read it. I signed it. I shared it on x.com. I'm going to make a video and then post it on a few other channels. We kindly... you know that Steve always has your back. I have your back. We just kindly ask that you reciprocate and spend a minute on sharing it on one or two of your social media platforms. These things are important, folks. These petitions are sometimes they're game changers, right? When you collect signatures, or sometimes you think, okay, I got to shoot for 500 signatures, and suddenly you get 5,000 signatures. We all help each other. Sergio sends me the petitions. I send out. We all work together as a family. We have each other's backs. So social media is our playground, right? We own Facebook, we own Instagram, we own YouTube, not the companies, right? Their subscriptions on an Uber channel or a DoorDash are a fraction of ours. This is the playground we control, and this is the playground we need to collect signatures and get the message across. Use social media to your advantage.
And to the podcast audio listeners, I will put the link obviously into there. But I did just put it in the chat and I pinned it. So you guys, please sign that. We're at like 285 plus or something. Now we're coming up on 300. 500 is a big milestone. 250 was, but let's get there. Let's keep that going.
And by the way, Tony Zoo, I'm wearing this hat for you. I don't look at this. I don't care. Look at this hat here, Steve. I don't care that I hurt your feelings. I don't give a F that I hurt your feelings, Tony Zoo. Come, second table, round table, baby. Let's do it.
Man, if I saw that hat in a bar or something, I would feel drunk. I would be looking at it going, what the hell is this?
What's that? IDK, IDC, IDGAF? What the hell?
But so the illegal accounts, we talked about those, and so did Torsten. So we don't need to go there. So the two things we have left are deactivations, wrongful, and maybe some things we need to do about that. But first, let's go through some of this Waymo stuff. I think we have just enough time to wrap those two subjects up. So Waymo, I mean, to be honest, I really don't even know where to start. The newest news is horrible. Our remote drivers are in the Philippines.
Yeah,
you guys.
But look how quickly that story went viral and was shared in social media.
Yeah.
It made Waymo, and again, these are two co-CEOs that are running the show at Waymo. It made you look like fools. It made you look like total assholes to the outside. Well, first you're farming these, you're an American company, Alphabet, and you're farming these jobs overseas. You look like pathetic fools, right? And then, look, whether you've taken a Waymo or you haven't taken a Waymo, it's going in that direction. But the politicians, the lawmakers that are in bed with these AV companies, Steve,
my city's in bed with them, so you're
big time, right? And then them being exempted from any type of fines, U-turns, illegal stopping,
Yeah,
exempted from everything.
you can't ticket them.
Right. I mean, I would hope they build a facility somewhere in Arizona in the desert and spend another 2 years of testing, right?
I've been
Testing these
saying
damn
that
things.
forever. Bryant said that when he was on.
Yeah.
You said that. We all
Yeah.
know this.
Kids should not be guinea pigs. Dead pets that
No.
have been driven over by Waymos shouldn't be guinea pigs.
And-
Echo Park the other day, not far from me, that car just spun out of control, hit things. A car went up the railway tracks and was facing a train. I mean, how many more stories do you want, CEOs of Waymo? Go and test your shit, get your act together, and when you're ready for prime time, come back. But we're not your guinea pigs, right? And I just say to those people that ordering Waymos, shame on you, really, because I can sort of understand if you just want your quiet time or you're just too afraid to be around people that you'll take a Waymo, but you're taking away a human's job. Think about that for a second. Let that sink in.
But not only that, again, I bust them all the time. There's nothing works, and all the parts are made from different places. When Bryant was on, we talked about it being a product liability case, not a case of this and that, which is tougher to prove. But first of all, we had a stowaway weeks ago. You remember that? It was in your
Yep.
city. How did he get past a damn LiDAR that cost 70 grand?
Yeah.
Because that is basically a sonar. It would absolutely pick up a human in there.
Yep.
How did he get in? And then so we have a girl that was hit. These Waymos are self-insured, meaning no company will work with them.
Yep.
They do not work.
Yeah, they don't work.
That's a horrible one.
I mean, did you see in San Francisco with the power outage?
Yeah.
People hate them, man. They're honking all night long. They honk around. They confuse each other.
The charging stations all night. Yeah, I mean Santa Monica and others. I know.
Yeah, I mean they're all being terrorized by these damn Waymos and others, right? It's the Zooks is out there, but Waymo predominantly is the most.
They don't understand a school bus. That's why I made this image.
That's a school bus, exactly.
And that's a bunch of Waymos chasing it.
Unbelievable.
So Waymo, you're welcome. That's an ad you should not use. But Waymos cannot get tickets in Arizona and California and most of these places they're in. Waymo sued, for those that don't know, Waymo sued the Department of Motor Vehicles in California to not have their records released. And you would think there's no way they're going to win that. They did.
And Tesla as well. They
were like proprietary. No, it's not. Your parts are not proprietary. They're being sold, like the LiDAR is being sold publicly. It's not proprietary. I can buy one if I had the money.
Yep.
So no, it's not. You're just using parts and putting them together and they don't work. But somehow you got that crushed. It hits the kid. It hit that cat. I know it. I know some people say just a cat, but nonetheless, it's not seeing things like. And I hated the thing about the kid. I hated it because the stories read, it broke down how it was doing. It was doing 27 and it got down to
better than a human,
8 miles an hour, and a human couldn't have done that. Okay, well, you know what we don't have? A $70,000.
We don't overtake school buses.
But we also don't have a $70,000 LiDAR on our roof that's supposed to see through that van because they say the kid darted. No, he didn't. The kid darted from behind the van for 10 seconds prior before getting to the road. Why the hell didn't you see it?
Yeah.
If your product works.
Yeah. No, Steve, they're not ready for prime time. And just waiting for the day, sadly, just waiting for the day for one of these Waymos to take out 2 or 3 people in the street. It's going to happen. I mean, I've seen these food delivery robots cross streets and cause cars to crash. I saw it in Hollywood.
I've seen them in your city cross police.
Yeah.
Roped off zones.
Nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And but again, those stories, and there are many of them, right? There's many of these Waymo stories. Again, get it out onto social media, and the joint message has to be: you're just not ready for prime time. Take them off the streets. Come back when you are ready, right? We're not your experiment. We're not human little guinea pigs, right? They are not ready for prime time yet. we can't stop them. I mean, this
Yeah.
is the movement. Then you're going to have air taxis, and I mean, it's 10 years from now, you and I will be doing a whole different podcast, right?
Right.
But right now, 2026, just absolutely not ready for prime time. And
No.
the Tesla robotaxi apparently even worse. I mean, there were so many crashes or non-reported that came out. I mean, that's a whole nother,
Yeah, I
eventually,
broke that
Mr.
one down.
Eventually,
The
Mr. Musk,
redactions.
your eventually, Mr. Musk, your car will get there. But I urge you, Elon, to take your robo taxis off the road, and you have a lot of property in Texas that you own. Go and create your little your little
Yes.
fake city, and with your little robots, and test them out. Have all your little white and black androids run around, your little robots, and drive around and test them. That's what it boils down to, testing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, on that note, Waymo isn't, you're right. I mean, bottom line, they're just not ready. And to the desert point, I've been saying that for a long time too. You know what? Put it out in the desert, but not just Waymo. Put any company that wants to start participating, make them all operate there. Because if they can't even play together, they can't play with us.
It's chaos. Chaos City. Call it Chaos City. AV Chaos City.
Right. And people said to me, but what are you going to, how do you know you're not going to have people? Yeah, you could. You just have pop-up people.
Yeah, pop-up people, scenarios. Yeah. And Elon, 6,000 of Elon Musk's little robots.
Go out.
Yeah.
Like,
power outages,
not in
rain, snow. Do it.
So we move down to the final topic, deactivations. I guess I'll let you see how you start this one, and I'll see what I have left to say.
Well, brutal. I deal with about average 30 to 40 drivers a day, taking them through the appeals process. Now, you ran a great story exposing those fraudsters that like, hey, you have a deactivated account. Don't worry, we'll sell you an account, right? That individual, let me just explain what happens. You lost your first account. You were deactivated for a reason, right? For some reason. That could have been a wrongful reason, right? Could have been an accusation made against you by a teenager. Could have been sexual assault, smelt of alcohol, was driving erratically, a car smelt of marijuana. They'll deactivate you over anything. So here you are, you've committed to this car, 60-month payments. 3 months in, he's like, damn, I'm a good driver, only 5-star ratings. Bam, you're deactivated. I get those stories all day long. Very often, sadly, they run into those scams, WhatsApp scams, $150 to $250. You're giving up all your information. They never contact you back, and you're getting frustrated, rightfully so. But I'm going to show you now how to do this yourself, right? Yourself, and where drivers are doing it. Or, you can come to us at activationhero.com. We'll do it for you. But I want to share with drivers on your channel how to do it themselves, do it the proper way. The company, if they accuse you of fraud, they never really tell you what type of fraud you committed. So the frustrating part is you don't even really know what you have done wrong. You just suddenly can't log back into your account, right? Or you can't do airport trips all of a sudden. You cut off from the airport. It's like, what did I do? So trying to get that answer from Uber or Lyft, good luck, right? Or Spark or Amazon or Grubhub, trying to find out, hey, give me the reason why I was deactivated. You're in the dark zone, my friend. You left in the dark. You're not making money. You're losing money now, and things get really, really negative, really dark very quickly in your life because you were sort of relying on that weekly or monthly income, and now you cut off. The first thing that
you're
some
not
of
told
these
anything.
No, you're not told anything. So what I want to tell drivers, food delivery drivers, rideshare drivers worldwide, because the process is the same, right? The process is the same. This is how you handle it. You are filing an in-app appeal with a review team, right? This is what David Risch and I spoke about. How do we create a functioning review team, a 48 turnaround where we can get a wrongfully deactivated driver back on the road within 48 hours. That was the question posed to me. I gave them the answers how to do it. But if you are filing an in-app appeal, good luck. It has statistically 4 to 5% chance. Why? You are a liability to them right now. They will not take a chance with you, and they would rather shelve you and replace you and keep you there. And it could be 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. A lot of drivers give up. They want you to give up, right? Because they have already
But
found a
some people
replacement for you.
get, if you don't even, or if you challenge it and you give up the fight after a couple weeks, they get reactivated anyway, like 6 weeks later, just out of nowhere.
It can be, right? It can be that 6 or 8 weeks out of nowhere you get reactivated.
Yeah.
And sometimes people that got even reactivated 2-3 years ago are getting reactivated. In some markets, they need drivers, and they'll take those, they'll relook at those deactivations, and they'll green light them and say, okay, you can drive again. What? But here's the thing: if you research DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, Uber, Lyft, Amazon Flex, Spark, Shipt, no matter what company you work for, if you research the legal department, and if you use the right legal wording, meaning a paralegal or an attorney has a script that their attorneys understand, legal to the legal world, they understand the verbiage and say, hey, listen, here's my side of the story. Your review team has been sitting on this for 6 weeks, not doing anything. In the interim, I have lost $3,500, right? I'm going to demand those $3,500 from you in small claims court. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go through arbitration, 2 to 3 years. No attorney is going to take your case, by the way, because you're protected by the arbitrator. The way is to march it into small claims court. California, for example, you would download the SC 100 forms, fill it out, demand $3,500 for lost earnings, march it in, and get a verdict from the judge. Now, they don't want this to go before a judge. Why? It costs them on average $2,500 to handle your appeal that you sent to the legal department, because they have to assign a paralegal to you that works on your case, right? And
Mhm.
and if they don't play ball, if they look at your past and you have multiple violations, they will bring them up. They'll say, I'm sorry, you know, they often like offer you $500 to go away, but we will not reactivate your account. We'll see you in small claims court. If they say that to you in their reply letter, it means they have a lot of dirt and shit on you from the past. Prior warnings, prior violations, they will bring them up. But if your background is fairly clean, right, and you're a good driver and you have a great rating, and they deactivated you on Spark or Uber and Lyft, you can either come to us. I mean, we've got this down like clockwork, right? I have a group of 8 paralegals that work for me and 1 attorney on my payroll. The letters are written all day. The legal letter is based on your declaration, your statement. Hey, here am I, Joe. This is my side of the story. This is what happened. It gets written into the legal letter, into the appeal letter with all the right language. It gets sent to you for your electronic signature bold sign, and then it gets sent to the company, and then the clock starts ticking. And because through your order number, you can track in our system exactly where your appeal is. It's signed, the company now has received your appeal, now starts the 21-day clock. And it's that 21-day window that we give them to reactivate the driver, or it goes to small claims court. So best case scenario, couple of really the good success stories, and I'll tell you the not so good success stories. Texas, you can sue up to $20,000. The driver got $20,000 in his account back. Great, that's a huge victory. For those people that have committed multiple, let's say, flirting, sexual abuse, sexual misconduct cases in the past, they have all the records on you. Then they come to us and say, hey, I just made this one comment. We always ask, do you have any prior violations? Any prior warnings on this particular subject, especially around sexual assaults or sexual verbiage, etc.? And they say, no, this is the first time. And then when I find out from their attorneys or through my paralegals, because I read I read the report daily, which driver is where in the system. Hey, this one had multiple sexual. I drop them. I say, listen, you lied to us. It's like a client lying to an attorney. I make it a decision right there and then. I don't want to represent you. I'd rather give you your money back, your $69 back. But you should actually, I don't want to tell them this, but you should actually not be on the road, right? So there are people that will try and appeal that should not be back on the road. And but 80, I would say 70 to 80%, if the companies did it the right way, should have those drivers back on the road within 48 hours. Now, the beautiful thing is New York just recently showed us the way, right? There is a law now in place governing wrongful deactivations, and the reasons have to be set forward. I think there's a 2-week period. You can't just willy-nilly just deactivate the driver. And you have to give them a 2-week warning and go through the whole process and determine, is it legit or is it not legit, right? So New York probably has the best system in place. I hope that all the other states follow, their model when it comes to wrongful deactivations. But I could literally write a book, Steve. We've done this now, maybe 9,200 appeals. I cannot even, I've lost count on how many small claims. Here, I'm doing another one right now. Here's a SC 100, right? We help package up the small claims forms and then have them file them in the courts in the right paperwork in the right courthouse. And just a reminder, drivers, if you want to do this yourself, you print out the correct forms, you find the correct court. On average, a state's court takes $60 to $70 for the state filing fee, right? And then the papers have to be served. They have to actually be served. And you used to be able to serve them on a hub. Now you have to serve the legal officers. You can hire a third party for $150, or you can hire the sheriffs of the court for $50 to do the service for you. But in order to get a hearing before a judge, all of those steps have to be done correctly. And it starts off with a demand letter, which we also do. It can move into mediation. Hey, we'll talk to the driver, we'll work something out. If they don't want to play ball and you believe you were really, truly wrongfully deactivated, I tell you what, march it straight into small claims court. You can do it yourself. You can have us do it for you, right? And again, the only people you can really not help, at least in my position with my team, are the people that have a pretty extensive history of warnings and violations. And I can sort of understand why the company lets those individuals go. I mean, I've read some of those rap sheets. They're not pretty, but if it's a dumb reason, I mean, there are so many pathetic. I'd really like to write a little booklet about it. All the reasons you can get deactivated. It's insane, right? And teenagers, by the way, you have a teenager, and they want that $15 trip paid. They want to get their money back. Hey, the driver told me I was pretty and touched my right leg. Game over, my friends. Game over. Yeah. You know what's going to save you? A dash cam.
Yeah, well, we both say this all the time. Everybody should have a dash cam by now.
Dash
If
cam,
you're hearing this for
recording.
the first time, just get one. It doesn't even matter if you do gig work. Everybody.
And by the way, those are the wrongful deactivations. I love helping. The first thing the driver will tell you, here's my side of the story. And oh, by the way, I want to tell you, I have the dash cam footage. Can I send it to you? Oh, dude, you're golden. You already have all the evidence already. You know what I mean? So those are the proactive drivers that'll go out there and spend $75 to $400 on a dash cam, film them, record them, because the shit happens in your back seat. They'll turn on you in a dime. They'll turn on you, and you will need that little electronic device in your car to save your ass. That's reality, my friends.
So I have a little to add on the deactivation because I'm in Colorado, little different. But what I will say about the dash cam, I would also say it's not required, but put a damn sticker on your window that says you're being filmed and recorded. I'm telling you, it wakes people up.
It wakes people up. It's a huge deterrence, right?
Yeah.
And a very good point you brought up there, because even if your state laws don't allow you, that little yellow sticker you're going to get for $4 on Amazon.com is going to save your ass. It really will, because they're going to behave. And that could also be the difference. That little yellow sticker, whether you have the dash cam or you don't have the dash cam in your car, could be the difference between them wanting to carjack you or not carjack you.
And I was just going to say, it also might have them go, if you need to turn that off, or I don't want the ride. And you say, then cancel it. I don't care.
Yep. That's it, you know.
But in Colorado now, under our new transparency laws and things, one of the things we didn't go for the money part. We went for some other things. We have a human deactivation or a human review every month of deactivations that want to be challenged. Here's what happened that is a little different than what's going on in other states.
Interesting.
You were talking about the people who have like past issues and they're like, no, I don't have any bad record. And you see, and you're like, come on, man, you do. Like,
you do.
This is cut down. We only had 214 in 13 months challenged here in Colorado. I thought it was going to be thousands. I think that this knocked off that.
Yep.
I think it made the people go, dude, I know why I was deactivated.
I know why I was deactivated. You know,
I'm not going to challenge it because that human review will catch me.
Exactly. And it's interesting. I have people that like, hey, I got to talk to you on the phone and explain my story. I'm schooled, man. I'm a veteran in this field. You speak to me for 5 minutes and I said, what part are you not telling me, my friend? You know what I mean? And then and they come up with another story. And then I'm like, okay, get it all out in the open. The more I know, the better for you, right? And a lot of people are afraid of the past and hide the past and maybe should not be on the platform. But at the same time, there are so many good drivers, 5-star rated drivers, that are just thrown under the bus. Their livelihood gets cut off. Their world gets turned upside down, and these CEOs or their teams don't have a system in place to protect these individuals. It is safer for them to keep them off the platform and immediately replace them with another person or with another fake account, right? Which they must be factoring this in, Steve. Fake accounts, they must be factoring it in.
I mean,
shit.
I said we wouldn't go to it today, but I'll at least put the one up.
Yeah, let's do another segment on that. I mean, it's
look at this. I mean, just this one. I'm saying this is just one.
Yeah,
he sells Uber Spark Driver
live streams. They're selling them in live streams. Oh, there's only one left in Texas, Houston. Buy it now. Don't fall for the shit. If it's my friends, there's a saying: if it's too good to be true, stay away. Don't do it. Right? There's a catch to it. Right?
100%.
Cool.
So we've ran way over, but I'm glad we didn't.
Yeah.
I think
I'm glad we did.
We covered a lot.
We did. Jeez.
A lot of
world's longest podcast I've ever been on.
Yeah, this was like a Rogan podcast or something.
Steve
but
Rogan.
I want to thank Torsten and guys. You all know him, but if not, check him out. Rideshare Professor. Ask Torsten. I think it's Ask Torsten, but Rideshare Professor. You can find him on YouTube. You can find him on other socials too, but biggest probably on YouTube. So, check him out. He's always putting out an issue every day, multiple ones. This, and so
and to the viewers, right? My email, my phone number is under every single video. I prefer text. I prefer email. I read them all. If it's a short reply or a long reply, I don't use AI. You're getting the human. You're getting me, and very much on the topic. About 70% of the questions are around deactivations. I'll steer you in the right direction. Some people just don't have the money, don't have $69, and I understand that. Some people say I just don't have the money. Okay, this is how you can do it your own way, right? But we're running this as a business. Steve and I and many other good people are we've chosen this path of a combination of influencer and driving to educate, help, share. And then at the end of the day, it's a community, because the amount of comments and the amount of feedback and the suggestions and the input from you is really what keeps this driving forward. Don't lose your shit. Don't lose your mind over autonomous vehicles. Sleep well at night. Take care of yourself. Don't overwork yourself. Concentrate on your health. Concentrate on your relationships. Whether you're in a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whether you're husband, wife, that and your children, that is the number one, right? This gig is just another means to some additional money. And if you really want to blow it out and monetize it, this is why you come into these type of channels. Hopefully somewhere something resonates, you pick it up and you run with it. But thank you, my friend.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't know what it means, but I'm going to say it because I heard it in it was an old 1940s song that I just happened to hear. And it's just one line, but for some reason it's resonating with me big time. Eliminate the negative, accentuate the positive.
Yeah.
It's been resonating with me. I don't know what it is, but it's like something in
that's
there.
That's it. Run, just go with it. Just go with it. It's there. Absolutely. Cool.
But
yeah, that was a great, you covered so much territory, man. Good. You covered so much in this one. Great topics you put forward, and I'm excited to join the next one. And I'll make a video on this video. You know what? I think you said right in the beginning, we probably with 2-hour video, I could probably cut 5 or 6 different segments because there's so much good stuff here, right? So expect a couple of other follow-up videos in my channel.
Also those, and I'll cut a few too because those get seen better.
Yeah.
I mean, because the lives are great. This is how I make the audio podcast, which will be 3,000 downloads in a week.
Yeah, but, or you could even use little segments, 60-second TikToks or things like that,
Yeah, but this is how you get things heard in there. Like when you were pointing out the one thing that the 6 minutes Tony Shu should listen to. Like that.
Absolutely. I remember it exactly. 1 hour 36 to 1 hour 42. Tony Zhu, your assistant, pen and paper, notepad, write down the whole damn list. And we want to have another fly us and pay. Don't be a cheap ass. You're making $400 million. Pay for the accommodation, pay for the flights, get 20 of us in the room and let's talk, right? Let's talk.
Yeah.
Steve there, Lewis there, myself there, Harry there, Sergio there, Jeff there. Jeff will chew them up, man. He'll he'll eat them for breakfast. And just Tony Zhu's too afraid. Derek Oshaw is too afraid. David Risher is too afraid to put a show like that in place.
But it doesn't need to be a show. Do what you
not a show. It's a
Roundtable wasn't a show. It wasn't live streamed. Have us in the room and just talk.
It's another saying, truth hurts, my friend.
Yeah, it does. It does.
They don't want to get
what? But running a multi-billion-dollar business, it's important to know the truth.
Yeah, and I really IDGAF about your feelings, Mr. Zhu.
So with that said, thank you guys for joining us tonight. I'm going to hit the outro music here, but before I do, since I showed you guys first the bus Waymo, I'll put this one up too because this one's the better one. I love this one. Driverless vehicles hitting children since 2026.
Wow.
And with that said, guys, good night.